Morning, everybody. This is Srinivas. I'll be handling with lecture number 7, which is the part 2, production planning and control. So earlier we were discussing about the vital, essential, desirable analysis in production planning. So vital, essential, desirable. That is here the material which we are going to procure is categorized as vital, essential, and desirable. Vital is in sense this is very much important in production. For example, if you are producing a two-wheeler or say a car, wherein which the engine and chassis are very much important, without which the production cannot be even started. So under such situations, those items are called as vital. Essential. Essential are the ones which uh, connects to the engine through wheels and which makes it running. So it comes under essential. And desirables are the inside accessories. That way we can categorize. So vital, essential, desirable in production planning. So they are planned in such a way that once the car is ready, even if there are the desirable items are not available, it can be considered completed. So in that way, we are the items used for this particular production are categorized. So vital, essential, and desirable. So in case if the engine or chassis is not available, we can't even start the production of that particular car. So in that way, it is vital, very very important. Now, what are the advantages of availing or following vital, essential, and desirable analysis? First is prioritize the management. So we can prioritize the engine and the chassis are most important, and without which the production cannot be even started. Under such, if you can give importance and if you can set your mind to that, where those are important and without which the production cannot be started, then the highest importance will be given to the particular vital items, and there should not be any stock outage for these two items. So this is very very important, and that is one of the advantage in that one. And reduce stock out. Basically targets control components and stop the manufacturing process. So if the vital objects are not available, we need to very clearly understand that the production is not going to start. So completely the production is controlled by vital objects, that is engine and the chassis. And optimal resource allocation allows companies to allocate capital efficiency, holding high inventory costs for vital parts and less for desirable parts. And also this engine and the chassis, which are very very important for the car, cost to 70 to 80% of complete car. So under such cases, when the cost is high, the objects needs to be ready and it should be moved. So we should not expect any idle time for this vital and vital objects. This means that engine and chassis once procured, it should not be kept idle in the dockyard. It should be moved on to the workshop wherein which further fittings are happening on that particular object. So improved efficiency. This helps in purchasing the inventory holding with the production urgency. So once these two vital objects are getting exhausted, the management feels that it's very important to repurchase that one and spend much money on that one. So once the resources, the monetary resources are planned in such a way that there is no stagnant of the investment, then it will lead to the better cost optimization to the customer. Coming to the next one. So EOQ model, economic order quantity model. This is inventory management technique that determines the optimal order size to minimize the total annual inventory cost, balancing the order costs and holding costs. So when it comes to the inventory, the major components are how much we are investing and what is the quantity that we are purchasing and how much time it is idle in time. So if we can synchronize these three principles of the inventory management, then it will minimize the idle time for the any of the object. How to calculate that one? That means what should be the buffers and how much orders should be placed, when it should be placed, and what is the time it is taking when you place the order to reach the goods to the godown, and how much the slack can be given in case if the order is delayed, what is the plan B. All this has to be worked out very well thoroughly, and the ultimate objective of the inventory control is no production or no man should be sitting idle. At the same time, the the raw material which is procured should not be lying in the dockyard. The cost of the raw material should be directly proportional to the fast movement of the raw material. The low cost of the raw material, if it is in the dockyard for a long time, it doesn't add much losses to the company. But the high quality raw material, when it is idle in the dockyard, it will add to the cost to the company. So the investment, the interest on the particular, the interest amount on the particular investment, when it is delayed, so the interest will be increasing day by day, and that is additional cost to the company. Now we have a basic formula of EOQ, economic order quantity, presenting the deal order quantity Q is equal to EOQ is equal to under root 2 ds by H, where D is the demand in amount quantity. For example, if you need a 1 lakh items, then D will be 1 lakh 100,000, and S is setup order cost, fixed cost per order, setup, shipping, and handling. So complete the order once it is placed and once it is reached and the payment is made. For example, we procure 1,000 orders for this, say 1 lakh rupees. Then each order setup cost will be 1,000 rupees. And by holding the and carrying cost, holding and carrying cost is the cost per unit to hold for 1 year. That means if the order is placed and it is idle in the dockyard, one thing is we are losing interest amount on that particular investment, and when it is calculated, the economic order quantity can be calculated by under root 2 ds by H. The holding cost or carrying cost in 1 unit in inventory per year. So when this formula is followed, economic order quantity is very nearly estimated. Let's consider the economic order quantity for material M. Following details are with the following details. The annual usage, for example, the annual usage of particular units material is say 90,000 units. Then buying cost per order is equal to 10 rupees per unit, and cost carrying inventory is 10% of the cost. Then cost per unit is equal to rupees 550. Then EOQ is followed under root 2AB by C into S. So A is the annual cost consumption, buying cost per C is the cost per unit, S is the storage cost. So when we calculate that one, the economic order quantity, when it is around 600 units, so it is best that we place the order for the next lot. That's how the EOQ is calculated. Coming to the assumptions. So here the demand rate is constant and known. So if there is any deviation in the demand, so this cannot be followed. As far as the demand is constant for the particular year, for the particular period of time, then we can follow the EOQ formula. So everything cannot happen as calculated. So there might be definitely some deviations. So it is better that we give some slack and so on to this particular formula. So order quantity is received all at once. No stock outs are allowed. So for this one, we have the limitations that demand rate is constant, the lead time is constant, order quantity is received all at once, and no stock outs are allowed. So for this EOQ, these are the four assumptions. Demand is constant, lead time, that is, for example, if the lead time earlier followed is say 3 days, and this time also we cannot give slack. We should calculate that the lead time is only 3 days. The order quantity is received all at once. Sometimes the orders will be placed in bits and parts, so that is not allowed in this EOQ assumption. So all the order we assume that it is received in the dockyard at a single day. So no stock outs are allowed. So there are no buffer stocks for this one. All we are assuming is no stock outs. So all the quantity before it is exhausted, we have to follow this one. significantly cost minimization. So when we follow this UOQ, it will ensures that the minimum monetary funds are utilized based on the order costing and the holding cost. So when all these three are fixed and when we follow this formula, then it is assumed that we economic order quantity, that means that we are placing the order at most economical time. So no order is delayed and no order is requirement is fixed and there is no buffer stock. So optimal timing. So it is assumed that if you follow this one and everything happens on time, then the movement of the material is smooth and no machine and no men are idle. So improved efficiency. At the same time, the production quantity also improves continuously. When the men are loaded and machines are loaded and the material is coming on time, this means that it is a festival kind of thing to the company. Okay, because it rarely happens unless you follow strict rules. In a country like India, it might not happen as expected, but in Japan, it happens. Like everything is on time and people are very sincere in doing their duties. Okay, coming to the next slide. P system and Q system. So what is Q system and P system? Here, inventory is reviewed at fixed time intervals every Monday or every month, or order is placed to bring the inventory up to a predefined target level. So predefined target level is the one with the safe order level where that particular target is utilized for that particular, say, 1 month of period. So 1 month of period, every month the quantity is reviewed and checked whether we have how to get the quantity to the 1 month period time. So that way they are calculated, the P system and key characteristics is time between order is constant. So always there is a time between constant order. So when you place the order constantly, the supplier also will will be interested in supplying the material constantly to us even at the bargain price. That way also it will add benefit to the company. The order quantity varies based on the usage during period. So order again quantity changes. So if you calculate for 1 week, it will be different, and if you calculate for 1 month, it will be different. So it is easy to manage, good for grouping orders with suppliers. Grouping orders with suppliers is one of the important things. Like if we place constant orders to a supplier, so that person will be very much interested, and only he will be behind us for any orders because the orders are constant and there is a consistency in orders and in the payments where the businessmen are most interested. And third one is constantly than daily. Coming to the Q system. So earlier it was P system, now it is Q system. Q system stands for fixed order quantity, continuous review of the Q model. So continuous monitoring of inventory levels when inventory reaches the predetermined order. So earlier it was the predetermined time. Now it is predetermined order. Once it falls below the buffers level, then it is a time to order. So that is the concept of Q system, quantity system. P stands for period system, Q stands for quantity system. So once the order falls below the quantity, then it is the time the alarm alerts and the time to reorder. So that is how they identify that one. And time between orders varies because the consumption might vary based on the demand and based on the requirement and of the objects. So when the order, so it always depends upon the buffer stocks of the raw material. So always the order is quantity again, the order is same quantity, but once it falls below the buffer stock, the order is placed again. So it requires continuous tracking and automated. That means it when once if the order falls below the alarm level, that is at the below the buffer level, automatically the system gives us a warning indicating that we need to place the order once again. The advantage is lower average invention levels, ideal for high cost and critical components. So it works well for lower average inventory levels, but not for high companies like car producing or or vehicle producing, but this will work well for other companies like say food industry, where the raw material is coming inside and it is getting dispatched in the other side. Disadvantages in higher administrative offers requires technology for tracking. So once it falls below pre-order level, then it will alert us. So the alerting system might cost us. Okay. And let's end this lecture here. We'll continue with the next one. The topic would be introduction to MR. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.